Okay, here's the loon. I'm looking through this scope. Can't really tell if I'm in focus here. It looks pretty much in focus. Okay, proportions of this bird, the body length to the head length, are not correct for a common loon and more correct for a Pacific loon. But the bird's a little too chunky to be a red-throated loon. Also, in viewing through the scope, without this iPhone, I see a nape that is uniform in color. Where are we? The area in the back of the head is kind of a uniform light gray, which is, I believe, consistent with Pacific loon. Again, this bird's length and width dimensions are more closer to a red-throated loon, but this bird is just a little too chunky, and its bill goes straight across. Not seeming, I know a red-throated loon's bill is straight, but it often holds its head up, giving it upturn. The red-throated loon's neck is a lot thinner. I'm here on the shores of Cape Henlopen, looking out at the lighthouse and the area that Bruce Peterjohn initially has seen this bird. It's we have a rising tide, which is kind of favorable for these birds for food coming in. So I am very thankful for Bruce Peterjohn for pointing this bird out. I sincerely doubt I would have been able to pick this bird out myself. But look at that. Look at the length. See, a common loon would be much longer in relation to the head than that. And since we're several hundred yards away, I've got a Kowa 20 by 60 scope. I think I'm about maxed out at 60. And I've got my Android phone with an adapter to it. So that's what we're doing. I apologize for this being a little shaky, but well, I'm doing the best I can. There were a couple of female common scoters to the right, and oh yeah, look at that bird. Where are those scoters? They have disappeared. That would be interesting to see the proportion, to see the relative size of the two birds. I'm sort of basing this identification here from the proportions. On the other hand, Sibley says that the nape, oh yeah, that the nape of this bird has a clean, the border of the nape has a clean line, whereas it's more jagged in a common loon. Sibley also notes that in the common loon you can often see white around the eye, and when I look through it just through the scope without the camera, I just see a uniform area around the eye. This bird is very dark on the back, consistent with Pacific, but of course, oh, they're the scoters. Okay, let's see if that, maybe somebody can help us with that. These are female black scoters. I think a common loon would be much, much bigger than those scoters. I think this might be a very good comparison here. Wish they were just get a little closer, but again, the common loon, according to Sibley, weighs about a little over 9 pounds, and this bird, the Pacific loon, weighs 3.7 pounds on average. The red-throated loon weighs 3.1 pounds. And I've seen Pacific loon before in Southern California, San Diego Harbor in the wintertime. So I do have some familiarity with the bird. I've also seen many red-throated loons as well as common loons. Bird does not seem to be a red-throated loon, because the red-throated loon has a little thinner neck, a little daintier. Although, as I've mentioned, the proportions of this bird are closer to the red-throated loon than they are to the common loon. A couple summers ago, I did see a winter plumage common loon here in this very same area against the rocks, and I just remember how long the body was. It's a common loon. It's a big bird. Here you can compare the laughing gulls to this, although they're quite a bit closer, so maybe that's not a good comparison. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this, and I hope this documentation is helpful. That's got to be kind of nice. I think we've seen enough from the movies. I'm going to try to take some photos with this camera, although that's even much more challenging than a movie. I don't know why, but the scope just seems to go off to the right and high. It's difficult to get that under control, but anyway. Anyway, this is a 60 power Kawa scope, and it's the Promenade version, so the glass is a high quality glass. Hoping that this is getting a good proportion, although I'm in the sunlight, so it's really difficult for me to see this. I've got my jacket over top of my head, so that helps a little bit, but anyway, enough about all that. Let me I'm going to refocus this. I can't tell. We went out of focus, back in focus, out of focus. We go to the fine focus. Okay, that's probably about as good as it's. Anyway, that's where we are. Any rate, don't know how the people at eBird are going to take this one, but anyway, I'm pretty sure that's the female black scoter there we just seeing in the background. Again, probably a pretty good proportion. You would expect a common loon to be much longer than the female common scoter. And we can see that this bird is not longer to just such an exceptional amount as would be in the common. It's good. Relative size is often a good way to separate two birds, such as the common loon and the Pacific loon. Okay. Let me try for a few photos here. Okay. This is it.